Gaza is starving, not figuratively, literally. The entire region has now reached Phase 5 famine, the worst level on the UN scale. And while children die from hunger, world leaders debate semantics and supply more weapons. But now the tide may finally be shifting because on July 24, 2025, France announced it would recognize Palestine as an official state, and the Netherlands has labeled Israel as a national security threat. And the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israel's top leaders back in November 2024, and they just reaffirmed them again on July 16, 2025. This is more than just a humanitarian crisis at this point, it's a legal, moral, and geopolitical reckoning. According to the UN-backed Integrated Food Security Classification, Gaza is an IPC Phase 5 catastrophe. That means at least 20% of households face complete starvation. Acute malnourishment exceeds 30%, and people are dying at a rate that qualifies as a humanitarian catastrophe. Right now, 470,000 people are in famine-level conditions, with children especially vulnerable. Let that sink in. Nearly 500,000 people are starving to death. This is not a natural disaster. This is engineered starvation. Since March, Israel has blocked nearly all aid. No food, no water, no fuel. Bakeries have been bombed. Aid convoys attacked. Hospitals are running dry. For the ones that are still standing, Yoav Gallant admitted it, saying,
אנחנו מטילים מצור מוחלט על העיר עזה. אין חשמל, אין מזון, אין מים, אין דלק. הכל סגור. אנחנו נלחמים בחיות אדם ואנחנו נוהגים בהתאם.
That's not military strategy, that's punishment by starvation. And under international law, what Israel is doing likely qualifies as a war crime. I mean, it does, because according to the Geneva Conventions and the Rome Statute of International Criminal Court, it is illegal to use starvation as a method of warfare, impose collective punishment, bomb civilian infrastructure like hospitals and schools, block humanitarian relief, and that's exactly what has been happening in Gaza. Documented, photographed, filmed, and live streamed in 4K, even the International Court of Justice had ordered Israel to allow humanitarian aid to avoid genocidal acts. But of course, Israel ignored it. And just so we're clear, Gaza isn't the only place where famine and genocide are being used as weapons right now. Sudan is collapsing. Since civil war broke out in 2023, the Rapid Support Forces, a paramilitary group descended from the Janjaweed, have been accused of carrying out ethnic cleansing in Darfur, including massacres of the Masalit people. On January 7, 2025, the US officially declared the RSF's actions as genocide, imposing sanctions on RSF leader Hamedi and others. Over 522,000 children have died from malnourishment in Sudan. The famine is so severe that entire refugee camps like Zamzam in North Darfur have run out of food completely. More than 12 million people have been displaced, and 25 million are in need of food assistance immediately. Bodies have been found in mass graves near Khartoum. Entire families have been executed, aid cut off. Sound familiar? Sudan and Gaza are in two different conflicts, but they share the same deadly strategy: use starvation to crush a population into silence. And in both places, the world is moving way too damn slow. And now there are some consequences. On November 21st, as I mentioned, of last year, the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and then Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, charging them with starvation as a method of warfare, willful killing, and crimes against humanity. Then on July 16, 2025, the ICC judges upheld those same warrants, rejecting Israel's appeal. In response, on February 2025, Donald Trump signed Executive Order 14203, sanctioning the ICC and targeting its chief prosecutor and staff. The US punished the court, not the accused. This is the first time a Western allied leader has faced such charges, and if they travel to any of the 124 ICC member countries, they could be arrested on site. Sadly, the US isn't a part of that. In case that wasn't clear enough, Amnesty International released a major report on December 5th of last year concluding that Israel is committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. Then, in late June 2025, Amnesty issued a follow-up condemning how US-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation and Israel were running aid distribution in militarized zones where over 500 people died near food sites in just 1 month. Starvation isn't a side effect of war, it's a strategy.
A moment of hope from above becomes a frantic scramble of life and death below. This is what an Israeli food drop looks like. panic and desperation. As aid stalls at Gaza's borders, random airdrops are proving little comfort.
What was dropped is not enough. There are people who didn't get anything. We demand more. We're starving.
The drops are Israel's latest effort to ease mounting international pressure to end Israel's genocide by starvation in Gaza. A crisis that the US president acknowledged on Monday.
Some of those kids that's real starvation stuff. I see it. And you can't fake that. So we're going to be even more involved. We did some airlifts before, some airdrops, and the people are running for it.
Under pressure, Israel has started to allow around 100 aid trucks per day into Gaza. They've reopened a water treatment plant and permitted limited airdrops. And that all sounds promising until you realize that Gaza needs like at least 120 trucks per day to even begin stabilizing. And those food trucks are still at risk of being looted, bombed, or blocked entirely. It's not a solution, it's a PR move. But the international community is starting to wake up a little bit. So on July 24th, France announced it would officially recognize a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly this coming September, becoming the first G7 country to do so. And it's not just a gesture, it's a geopolitical shift. And in the Netherlands, a week earlier on July 17th, the Dutch intelligence flagged Israel as a foreign national security threat for the first time ever. The public announcement came around the 27th or 28th of this month, revealing that Israel had run covert disinformation campaigns targeting Dutch politics and the International Criminal Court in The Hague. Let me say that again. A US ally is now considered a national security threat by a European democracy. We are witnessing the collapse of Gaza not just physically, but existentially. And in Sudan, we are seeing a genocide unfold in real time. Populations starved, aid weaponized, and children dying for bread.